Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Manish Porwal and I'm the convener for this webinar. Welcome to Alchemist Presents COVID-19 Real Estate Marketing 20 in association with Anarock and with Claim. This is a web dialogue between industry's most revered leaders and audiences. It's going to be a panel as well as a Q&A, and it's a salient point discussion by Alchemist on the real estate communication and marketing world in 2020. Alchemist, to introduce to some of you who do not know us or who may know of us very, very little, is and has been a communication agency for a lot of real estate developers like M3M, JP Infra, Shapoorji, DLF, Four Seasons Residences, Trump, Nirvana Realty, Disha Direct, Sai, ARG Jaipur, Exerbia, Tribeca, Mixon, Tata, and many others. Having helped market 8,000 crores plus of inventory in the last 6 years, most of them have been an excellent growth for our clients. We thought it was a moral responsibility and right to get the industry to discuss and formulate a way forward from this unprecedented and frightening situation that we are in post the outbreak of the pandemic. COVID-19, ladies and gentlemen, a harmless sounding term and unknown to most of us before it took us by a storm, has created a huge disruption in our lives. No amount of any discussion can take away from the deep plight it has caused the human race at the core level, and mostly now to the unfortunate. We do recognize that and don't wish to trivialize or bring down the impact it has had on the regular lives and health of scores of people globally. However, that said and talked by everyone and each news channel and any other source for many weeks now, we are here to discuss in focus the impact of it on the economics of our own industry and in our own country. COVID-19 Real Estate Marketing Panel 1, which is live, is here to discuss the efficacy of marketing as a function of the overall real estate industry. And it's a webinar for approximately 1.5 hours. It features some top leaders in the industry. They will not just crystal ball gaze, but they are here to tell us the reality of reality as it's likely to be, and specifically of marketing in it. We will also do this discussion with a lens of the owner's viewpoint or the runner's viewpoint of the business to marketing today. So while you as an audience may have a question on why we are discussing and what we are discussing new, well, we have answered that in two ways: solutions rather than just crystal ball gazing, and second, with the lens of marketing. Moving forward, let me introduce my very powerful panel to you. First is Mr. Nayan Shah. Please welcome him aboard. Mr. Nayan Shah, CEO and Managing Director of Mayfair, envisions professionalizing the real estate industry and making his group an esteemed brand committed to all its stakeholders. Avid athlete, I know that, and he's always called the Iron Man. He's the one who strongly believes in dreams come true and leads the mission of affordable housing for a lot of people. Welcome aboard also Mr. Amit Grover, Executive Director at DLF Offices. Amit is a seasoned commercial real estate professional with a quarter-century of experience and served at vital positions in Ansels, Cushman & Wakefield, Citibank CRE, and has been at DLF now for more than 16 years. He's passionate about architecture and cities and widely travels. I don't know how he's going to travel in the recent future, but as of now, he travels to keep abreast of the latest. And we also welcome the young and not so inexperienced yet, Kumar Patodia, director and the second generation entrepreneur from the Unimark Group of Kolkata. Kumar runs the company's core business strategy today. Prior to this, he has worked with JP Morgan Securities in New York. He represents a strong foundation of ambition, excellence, growth, and consistency in the real estate industry. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mohit Goyal. This is one of the first few that I've been able to convince him to come on board. Another tycoon and a great friend of mine. Mr. Mohit Goyal is the CEO of one of India's leading real estate firms, Omax Limited. The second entrepreneur leverages his sharp business acumen to bring about structural changes in Omax to turn around the company at a time when the real estate sector has newer and unprecedented challenges. Welcome, Mohit. And now the poster boy of this panel, Mr. Baban Irani, Managing Director of Rustom G Group. He's not just the driving force behind the success story of the real estate brand, but he's also a brand by himself. Mr. Irani is a first-generation real estate developer and an entrepreneur with over 23 years. Graduated from Harvard Business School. A lot of respect for that. Mr. Irani has coupled business acumen with international exposure to put to use powerful and successful strategies in his real estate business. Mr. Deepak Goradia, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome him, the Vice Chairman and MD of Dosti Group. Deepak is a brain behind architectural grandeur and beautiful landscapes of his projects. His unique ideas, strategies, and negotiation skills have earned him respect as a visionary, not just in the group, but overall in the industry. Guided by the principles of ethical business practices, transparency, and striving for customer satisfaction, he continued the legacy of Dosti. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before I hand over, let me introduce my moderator for the session, Mr. Anuj Puri, the chairman and founder of Anarock, our partners for this webinar. Anuj has about 27 years of experience in multidisciplinary advisory and transaction ranging from real estate to social development projects. He has expertise in planning, undertaking demand assessment studies, and transaction services, including marketing strategies based on technical market analysis, feasibility studies, program requirement derivation, and fund and investment sourcing. Well, I haven't spoken so much English together ever. And yes, it's me, Manish Porwal, Managing Director at Alchemist, here to coordinate, assist him because he may have to leave slightly early for something extremely important and critical. So the format, ladies and gentlemen, of today's web meeting is innovative and yet very simple. We have an opening bell about 25 minutes where my fellow panelists will put their PowerPoints for around 3 minutes of monologue each. We're not going to disturb them at that time. Following that, we have the panel discussion, which will be led by Mr. Anuj Puri. And after that, we will open ourselves to a Q&A round with all of you present here. Thank you so much for being present in such quantities. We are full up on Zoom right now. And those of you who can't be here, or those friends of yours who can't be here, can catch up live on Facebook. We are there for you as well. We have about 2,500 odd registrations as we go along. So interesting. I'm looking forward to this one. Anuj, over to you.
Thank you very much, Manish. Thanks for that kind introduction. On behalf of everyone, I thank you, Manish, for putting together this eclectic panel. Alchemist does a fantastic job in being able to bring in the decision makers that are required to be able to get their minds in. I'm actually going to enjoy this because, the poster boy of not only Indian real estate, perhaps of Bollywood. I did not know that he had graduated from Harvard. So I'm going to ask all the tough questions. I was going to ask all the tough questions to Nayan Bhai. Because, he's not only a marathon man or an Iron Man, he's also very deep on research. Now I'm going to ask all the tricky questions then by to Bowman.
Nayan Bhai bach gaye.
Bach gaya.
Right. That's good.
Bowman, just quickly, I'll start with you, Bowman. In really 3 minutes, if I can give you a little bit different topic so that everybody is little aware and maybe a bit more detailed on that topic. The marketing and sales teams, at these stages, Bowman, need to be really motivated. How do you motivate those teams? Given that there's a lockdown, without physically seeing the place, you're trying to sell. And yet, Bowman, at your level, you're wanting the numbers to be driven. At an owner's level, you want the numbers to be driven. So, how do you keep these guys motivated?
Hey, Anuj. So let me tell you, coming straight to the point. First of all, don't expect miracles from people. These are tough times. They will continue to bring out the best in those who will be leaders in your team, but not everybody will perform the same. People have different biorhythms at various times in their life, and they will go through some ups and downs. So be compassionate, be humane. Don't expect more from people than what you would expect from yourself, right? So we always have this very critical way of trying to want more. I think at all points of time, the one thing a leader should do is do what's right, do what's needed, but do it, with empathy. Communicate as much as you can, because communication keeps people involved, and people who are involved usually are a lot more committed. I would say be fair at all points of time. There are no special people in your team now. Everybody has to know that they are only one team. So maybe some of them in the background would be, you know, just supporting those that have to go out there and, you know, make the hits or the runs. Like there's an actor, there's a director, and there's a whole set of people, including the tea boy who gives the tea on time, if that's a Bollywood kind of connect to give you. I think it's most important your team knows that they are in the driver's seat and you're not being like a backseat driver for them. So you give the broad guidelines, but beyond that, Anuj, people are there because they're achieving, right? You wouldn't work with monkeys. So they're achieving, becoming overcritical or starting to worry too much, which is what happens to some leaders at a time of crisis. They start panicking. I don't think this is a time to panic. If at all, I'd say, you know, work with an ice block on your head, work with sugar on your tongue. Be very clear. It's not what you say, it's how you say it that's as important, right? You could, in a moment of irritation, ruin a lifetime of you know, someone's I don't know, his feelings about something. And a person who's feeling without a feeling is a khokla. You know, he's like an empty guy. Those guys are no good for you and no good for themselves. So, you know, as a leader, you have a responsibility to take care of them. Keep building into, and maybe it's too late to do that if you've not started that, but I think most of the people have realized this long back. You know, value build, value speak, value drive. You have to let people understand that there is no longer the ideology of price. It is all about value, because I've heard this so early in my life that, you know, the price will soon be forgotten. The value will be remembered forever. The quality will be remembered forever. But I say quality, the way I deal with the people, you know, go out there and don't try and make a customer, you know, become a friend. The customer is going to come automatically. And when I say a customer, my first customer is my person, right? My guy on the ground is my first man out there. I would take most care of him. He is going to do exactly to the people what I do to him. If I show any kind of impatience, he's going to show that with the people. I think you've got to make that guy so comfortable and tell him, dude, I'm in this with you all the way, you know, there for you. And I'd keep advising the guys that this is the time to go deeper. Don't try and go like this. Don't try and find more and more people to talk to. If you spend an hour and a half talking to only one customer, hey, make that hour and a half count. Make that customer feel. So likewise, when I'm talking to my people, I'm spending as much time as required. There's no set time of 1.5 hours or 2 hours or whatever of the call. It just goes on. It's a free for all. I just say, go ahead, let's talk. And finally, you know, Vern Harnish taught us something very, very well, very, very nice. He said, crowdsource. You are not the Shiva's head that's going to let the Ganga flow from your head, right? You are just one of the team players. You happen to have certain abilities or skills or resources that make you their leader. But finally, boss, on that football field, each man is as important. Trust him, let him take decisions, and ask him, because he knows better than most of us, because he's your front line. It's been forever since I actually made a frontline sale, Anuj. I don't know what my customer talks. I can only learn from those people who are in the front line. So I think that should do as a starter, and please take it up with the others. I'd like to hear what they say as well. Thank you.
But Bowman, fantastic, huh? Fantastic what you have said. Is it really, really nice? Communicate, empathy, transparency, team player, you know, make them feel that they are sitting in the driver's seat. And then genuinely they are, because they are the ones who are speaking with the customer. Rather than, you know, being irritated, short-tempered, not communicate, ask only for results to be delivered. And you know, it is difficult what you're asking to do it, because on one side there is a cost pressure and the cost continues, and on another side there's very little revenue, if anything, that is coming in. So, you know, very, very nice. I mean, I have certainly learned that, and I think a lot of our friends who are watching this, plus who are on the panel, you know, would have learned it, that you know, you'll have to keep cool at this moment in time. As you said, is, you know, put a block of ice on your head and then sugarcoat your tongue. The message will have to be conveyed, but how do you convey that message? Beautiful. Deepak ji, I'm going to come to you before I go to Amit. I know Amit's got a little bit, or maybe Amit, I'll come to you first and then I'll go to Deepak ji, because it also gives us a little bit of flavor of what's happening in office, Amit. You know, we've spoken with a lot of residential guys, but you know, you represent, you know, the largest office developer in the country, DLF. Two questions, Amit. One, what is happening in offices? We get a lot of these mixed things, work from home, social distancing, demand. And the second, more importantly, is that, how are you marketing the leasing of the spaces? Is technology playing a big role in that?
Yeah, thanks, Anuj. And first of all, do second what Oman just mentioned. It's an important time for the leaders to be humble. At the same time, it is important to reflect partnership. A lot of offices business is B2B business, which means the customers have trusted you. I mean, they would be operating in any part of the world, but they've trusted the country, they've trusted the developer. And it's been typically long-term partnership because most leases are 9 or 10 years, but when you renew it, I mean, actually some of our relationships are over 20 years. So this is the time to reflect partnership, that you stand by with them. If you ask me, in true sense, this is not the time to sell. So it's like completely change gears and get into the service and a partnership mode rather than the selling mode. And then that reflects that what actions you want to do with your marketing teams. I mean, this is the time to kind of reflect that partnership. This is the time to for your employees, the messages for motivation. In certain areas, a lot of responsibility comes on the developers. For example, in DLF, our 300,000 employees work in our complexes. So this is the time when they're operating at home. How you connected with these companies so that their IT infra is well taken care of and they're operating from home. What are the right messages? How you decoding the various messages which are coming from the government to kind of simplify and talk to your customers in the pre-opening preparation? How you're drafting some of the messages once they come on site or once they come to the offices. What are the hygiene messages which gives them comfort, right? Because in true sense, it's an interesting way that once you come back to work, you are sensitive about that are others not infected, right? It's something like recently, I think Lufthansa announced that everyone will be flying on board will be wearing a mask. And that gives confidence on the asset and operation. So a lot of mindset starts moving into the operations level.
Correct.
The second is how do you reflect your partnership in reducing the cost? So we were focusing a lot on our reducing on operating costs and how that benefit can be passed on to the customer, because yes, there is pain in the customers on account of cost as well. So, it's largely a lot about reflecting partnership in its own way. And I said that the biggest skill set of which a marketer can contribute at this time is the marketers know how to communicate in simplicity. I mean, there are a lot of jargons which are flowing around, so much of content available on social media, this and that. In the current world, I personally believe that the marketer's job is to help the domain experts to simplify those messages which the masses can absorb. It could be technical messages, it could be medical messages, and then the confidence starts coming in the office segment as a whole. I know work from home it's been the most talked about subject. Let's raise our hands. In true sense, I mean, I know some surveys were done recently, but you do a happiness index of first 15 days, next 15 days, and next 15 days, and last 5 years.
Well, I know where I will stack up on that very clearly.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, all of us are eager to go back to work because we want to meet the real people, right? And that's how humans are designed, right? And the second thing, what we say is, a lot of people in our, 85% of the office space of this 550 million is occupied by IT industry. And a very large segment is the entry-level people, entry-level workforce, which comes from tier 2 cities to metros. When they come into metros, the house they live in is not, in the initial 5-6 of careers, there will always be not so good compared to the offices. And we all started our careers in the same way.
Amit, sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. Yet, one of the large IT, corporates have said is that they will only have 25% of their workforce coming to the office by 2025.
Yeah, I mean, that's been an interesting statement. So we all have to say how it goes, because saying and doing is two different things. But as much as we know our business, we know the mindset of the employees, people want to just be at work, interact with friends. There is a clear research and approach. The happiness level is linked with the number of friends you make at work. And you want to go out a bit in the evening with the same friends and then get back to your home. And literally the most youngster millennials, which we talked about, are driving the office space. That's the life they want to live in, not in the confined zone. zones here, which is reasonable, restriction on kind of mobility. And then there are other factors. I mean, there are air conditioning issues at home, and especially the initial years when the employee steps in. There are power cuts which are happening, and let's not forget. I mean, summers have not come in, right? Let the June or July come in, right? I mean, you would know which is a better place. But I think it's the whole human element. We like to be happy only if we meet people, right? I mean, we like to go out, and that's what the millennials young workforce like. So I'm slightly concerned that some of the statements which one particular company has made, I don't think that's a reflection of the industry as a whole. And I think time will tell. But having said that, there will be a hybrid model, which is what Bangalore is doing and some bit Mumbai is doing, to avoid traffic or to avoid long distance travel. There will be a combination of few days working from home, few from office. As a result, the flexi seatings will emerge with time because you don't have to work every day from home, possibly work 4 days from office and 1 day from home, and accordingly the seat can be used by others. So some of those factors will emerge. Our broader assumption is it will settle between a 80-20 ratio, with 80% still is office and 20% as a home in a flexi way to give a more work-life balance. That's the broader assumption is.
Yeah, and Amit, you did briefly touch on the marketing part. So you're saying is that this moment in time, it is more partnership approach, not really going out and selling.
Yes, absolutely. Because you see, the customers who have trusted you, right? They need handholding at this time, right? So whether it's the house they bought in or the office they've leased in for their employees, there are concerns of the employees once they start getting back, that how will be the hygiene maintained. What will the other co-tenants or co-employees will do. So those messages have to be there. You have to bring everyone together with a common objective. I mean, today in residential complexes, communication plays a role because the whole complex has to fight that no virus in our complex. And then the whole community has to work together in maintaining that social distancing. It cannot be a few houses in a residential complex. So communication plays a lot of role at this time to motivate everyone to get together with a common cause to kind of fight this virus, put it to an end. Or if in a partial unlock scenario, how do we are self-disciplined as a city as a whole, as the buildings as a whole, how the disclosures are important. I mean, you don't want a single non-disclosure or single infected person to walk into the building and create more infections. So the developer responsibility is there, that, the screening requirements have to be much more. But I think at this point in time, the marketing can play a role in building that common vision. The marketers are experts in communicating in a single way. Sometimes we all know in our world, a single slogans can put everyone together, right? And that's what the time where marketers can do a lot. And there are various platforms, which is digital and real communication on ground, on the shop floor communication. Various platforms have to talk the same language to simplify the jargons and make the larger masses come together.
Super. Deepak bhai, I'm going to come to you on, you're just sort of guru on the affordable housing, and you've done exceptionally well. Dosti as a group has done, very, very well. In these times, how do you market affordable housing? What's the thought? What's the mantra? What's the channel of communication in being able to connect with the prospective home buyer?
Overall, this the crisis period of this COVID and all, overall things have become a little challenging all across for various industries.
No doubt.
Just
no
the
doubt.
estate industry. And innovative way people have been learning and doing something new. That is the whole thing we've been also doing. Affordable housing as such, since last 4-5 years, it was a buzzword in the industry, in real estate point of view, all across India. Tier 1 city, tier 2, tier 3 city, all across. That was definitely a market with big volume. People could able to sell well, and that was the thing which was a saving factor for residential real estate since last 4-5 years. Today, if we see people, because of COVID crisis and all, people have realized importance of home, importance of house, importance
Correct.
of staying safe and staying with the family. So to convince any customer to buy a house or own a house is a little become more easier compared to renting a house. Millennium people were earlier reluctant to buy a house. They were all willing to buy instead of taking a burden
Absolutely.
EMI and
Yes.
committing their life for the EMI. Now people are thinking positively that it's a value addition. I think that over house is very, very important. And over the house, there are various factors. As of now, communication point of view, sales point of view, the challenges is always there that conventional way of marketing and calling the people at site, making a mela and then creating a buzz and all. Now those days have gone, at least for the beginning 6 months. We
Yes.
need to be a little doing it in a different platform, different fashion and different communication mode. Of course, digital comes first in any of these things that having said that, digital has a various way of marketing from the various platform in digital and communicate to the customer. That is the only major communication mode as of now. Post lockdown open, there would be some movement and traffic on the road. People would see hoardings or something. So that becomes a little second communication mode. But major mode still will remain always remain will be the digital mode. In the digital mode, then you have CP's channel partners working with you and with whom customers get connected. They would also continue connecting with the digital mode only, and they would be having with whatever the platform they will do online, virtual, or through website or through Zoom call or whatever things are. The communication would still continue. If you see the affordable housing in today's market from the customer's point of view, since last 7 to 8 years, the market, the way things are, its prices are all-time low. It's one of the most affordable and right for the customer's point of view to buy. It's the right time to buy. Secondly, home loan interest has also gone down and still going down. It's nearing to a 7% home loan interest. That's
Absolutely.
a very, very important factor from the EMI point of view, from the customer's point of view.
It's 14-year low, Deepak bhai. It's in 14 years. It's not come to that level. 2006 was the last that it came to that level.
Okay. So that's also the home loan and the things are there. Thirdly, if you look at the things that one is EMI, one the owing the home, and ticket size. Since last few years, every developers across India, they are trying to fit in the all apartments as per the ticket size of the customer. Sizes have gone down. Bombay sizes have gone to that level that we almost down by whatever we used to create 2-bedroom. We are down by 30 to 35% the ticket size. 700, 800 square feet 2-bedroom, we are selling at even 500, 550 square feet, even smaller than that 2-bedroom apartment. So budget, ticket size and all mixed factor has really played important role. If you are having a product in MMR, you can even still offer a 1-bedroom at below 45 lakh rupees.
Wow.
That would work out to be 1% GST, stamp duty is also cheaper than GST. Government is gradually reducing the stamp duty also across. So overall, it's now fitting the budget and millennium point of view. Now the importance of home because of COVID crisis have realized that there is definitely a thing they need to buy. They need to buy at the right price, right product and all. And where we have seen the affordable housing, mainly the issue is, affordable housing is largely a township project all across any cities in periphery area. And township projects are being developed by the large developer with a good track record and reputed brand. So people are not much into that. Today people believe on brand, believe on the track record of the developer. To anybody for buying affordable housing would be definitely attractive from the customer's point of view. Even our communication and all these things also at each developer level would be something initial for 2 to 3 months of pre-lockdown would be a challenge, but gradually we expect that the demand would gradually revive in the affordable housing by various communication mode, creating some sort of a platform, creating curiosity at the digital platform level through CPs, communicating through CPs, having a webinar like this with all our CPs, having a webinar with the customers like this, continue marketing the product, and would be definitely things people would gradually come back. If we see last 1.5 month time in lockdown time, various developer marketing affordable housing and the results are also very attractive. People we hear various numbers. So numbers are there, they are getting the reasonably good number. Of course, the volume not as earlier, but gradually people are accepting the fact. Here the developers are there, customers as of now, the customers who are buying, those who earlier visited the site, they know the sites and they like the site. And after persuasion through CPs, through communication, through our own team, our channel partner team, through our own sales team, we are able to communicate and get the conversion done, and we are getting the checks.
Very nice.
Post-COVID, definitely, it will all depend mainly on the digital marketing and how do you communicate, how do you effectively give a virtual tool, virtual visit, and explain to them, and give the option that you visit the site at certain time and certain time, and you reconfirm. If you have any issues, then options should be given that you may return the money in certain time. Secondly, some developers are giving some price protection or some other thing, which also developer to case basis, people are taking that call. But overall, if we see, affordable housing is evergreen. Its market is there all across India, all major cities and tier 2, tier 3 cities, depending on location to location, brand, track record, and the ticket size. Customers are there, and proper communication would definitely help.
Very nice.
Gradually get revived.
Perfect. That's very encouraging, Deepak bhai. Manish, you want to do the poll first before I go to Nayan bhai?
Yeah, we can do that simultaneously. Alchemist Administrator, can we throw the first question for the audiences, please? Do you think the importance of marketing in real estate post-COVID will first go down, will go up, or will remain the same? So up, down, and same. Oh, we're getting some results out there straight away. Is it?
Very nice. Then, bhai, we heard Deepak bhai speak about the encouragement, on the affordable housing and the ability to be able to continue to communicate with them through the digital means and the CP. And I pretty much agree with what he's saying on that. Is my question to you is, then, bhai, you're sort of deep in research. I mean, the thesis that you do is like fantastic in that. I want to understand from you the consumer mindset behavior, Nayan bhai. On one side, he's going to come out of this not knowing whether there is going to be job security or not. On the other hand, we're seeing widespread salary cuts. Lots of big corporates have also announced salary cuts in that. And no bonuses. Perhaps the incentives will be lower in 2020, 2021. Yet what Deepak bhai said was also very true, is that in these circumstances, he probably wants to buy a house because it's such, important, having lived in that small little home or rented accommodation. What's your thought when he comes out, Nayan bhai? What would he or she be really thinking?
To add, Anuj bhai, before it goes on, it's like a post Big Boss that we are all in. Right.
When we go out, what is going to be the reaction?
Sorry, go on, please.
Yeah. So, Anuj, before I answer the question on the consumer, the consumer behavior, what I want to tell everybody is what CREDA MCHI has been trying to do in the last 30 to 40 days. I think this is very important for the industry to know. See, when the COVID-19 lockdown came, everybody was in a kind of a fear and anxiety, as to what is going to happen. And one of the key things that the developers has established in the last 30 days is empathy and compassion, not only for their workers, the migrant workers, but for the people around. And you will not believe that all the 10,200 projects registered under RERA, each of that developer has taken care of his labor, of his migrant workers.
Very nice. Beautiful.
And you know what, Anuj, I'm letting the secret out because Deepak doesn't know about it, that the whole last 40 days that I wanted to create was empathy. You see, how do I first start loving you, Anuj?
Yes.
I first need to have compassion with you.
Yes.
I first need to start accepting you as you are and not as I want you to be.
Fantastic.
Then only I will start loving you.
Yeah.
So what I try to bring in each and every developer's mind is, boss, ye bhi badal jayega.
And then I try and say the same thing to my wife all the time. What you just now said. She doesn't agree about me on that. But you're so right. As you are, that is how you have to be accepted, and first you have to think through this.
Yes. So what we did was that we started appealing to the developers very, very silently. And then we had a few developers doing, so we did the hospital at Powai, 250 beds in few days. And Anuj, do you know, till now, the developers in MMR have spent more than 15 crores of rupees, despite they not having salaries to, money to pay salaries and whatever. But this is the, and see what has this led to? This has led to a great credibility of the industry, that the developers are really somebody who care. And I think this is a great message that I want to give to all the consumers today, that the developers care for their consumers. And we are there out for you, no matter what your issue is. We will see to it that you are able to afford a home and you are able to buy a home. So this is the overall message that, CRIDA MCHI was trying to do in the last 30 days. Now coming to the consumer behavior, specifically micro-wise, I feel two things will happen, Anuj. Number one, the focus will be on life and not on lifestyle.
Interesting.
The focus will be on life and not on lifestyle. Second, for some period of time, they may find it difficult to buy a home because of whatever, job security and things like that. But a time will come when in the continuing of life, they will realize कि अभी तो घर लेना ही है मुझे. And I think the Indian industry is growing so fine that every person who is capable is bound to get a good job. Now, I don't know whether today he is earning 50,000, he may get a job at 40,000, 30,000, whatever, I don't know. But everybody who was unemployed due to aviation, travel, tourism, entertainment, retail or whatever, in the next 3 to 6 months, they are bound to find a job. And I'm very, very confident about it.
Yes.
So what is going to happen is, Anuj, that people will buy what is necessary. So if I have a capability to buy a 800 square feet home, maybe I'll settle for a 600 square feet home. But what I will look in that complex is there things like an kind of an isolation center or a quarantine center? Is there a business center? Spa will go out, So how my whole family will be taken care of? So this is what he will be looking out for. And as you, Bowman rightly said, Deepak rightly said, we will have to connect with our customers. We'll have to make him very comfortable. कि तू मेरा दोस्त है boss, तू मेरा भाई है, तू मेरी भाभी है. Don't worry. जैसे I still recollect my father, when he used to sell 40 years back, people will come and they will be so worried. He said, कोई बात नहीं बहन जी, आप घर की चाबी ले लो, पैसे बाद में देना. This was a reality. If you ask Ramchand Dudhani, Damji, Shamji, Deepak's father, you will find so many people who were given keys and money was taken later on.
Really?
So this is what is, like this kind of empathy, compassion will be completely required. And I think this is what, I feel overall.
Fantastic. Huh? Life will be important. Lifestyles may, for the time being, be compromised, but that also doesn't mean is that they're not going to come and buy. They will look at security, safety, and if they are being provided that, they will be very keen to be able to go ahead and make the purchase.
Nayan bhai, I'm taking away that line for my next campaign. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to come to you, Kumar, and then I'm going to get to Mohit. Mohit, I have an interesting question to ask him on Chandni Chowk. They have a very large project there. Outstanding project. I just want to understand. So Mohit, start thinking on that, how the marketing is going to happen. But let me, Kumar, come to you. I mean, you're a Wharton graduate, in real estate. We heard Harvard and now a Wharton graduate. So it's just fantastic to have that kind of pedigree coming in the second generation into the real estate. I have two questions, Kumar, and I'll ask the first one first. Is technology beyond digital going to play a role within real estate? And I'm expanding this a little bit for you to think through the full real estate cycle.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you, Anuj. I think the real estate industry has been very slow to adopt change and has been relatively unchanged for quite a while, even though every other industry is changing rapidly due to technological advances. But I think, with the millennial revolution that is happening, I think there is going to be a lot more adoption of technology in real estate. For instance, millennials are getting married later, and many of them expect to be single when they purchase their first homes. And a result of this is that they are looking for smaller properties with more amenities for shared access. Now, with the use of digitization and technology, there are so many things that can be done, and that is becoming a requisite for the millennials who are looking to buy homes. For example, virtual communities that offer advanced remote property viewing with virtual tours for marketing, accessibility via mobile phones, mobile applications, and web apps. They are looking for digital housing societies and sharing economies, smart technology and gadgets through the Internet of Things, such as CCTV systems with augmented tracking, access control, smart appliances. So the list can go on and on, including smart infotainment systems. So I think there's going to be a lot more technology-oriented offerings by all the developers. Similarly, apart from the sales angle, even for the construction, the real estate sector has been relatively slow in adopting technology. So I think even today, after maybe 10 years, 12 years, 8 years, people are still starting to use technologies like aluminium formwork. They're working, especially when you come to affordable housing. So where the multiple towers are of the same design, this aluminium formwork, jump form technology, all of these things work, fairly well in terms of economy, in terms of speed. And I think, with the current COVID crisis, we have to find ways of doing things faster, better, and cheaper. So I think without technology, there is no chance that, any of these three things can happen.
Interesting. And Kumar, if I can continue with that is, once this COVID lockdown opens up, you're young and you're sort of taking over from dad, the business. What are the changes that you're going to do? Because, this may be the best time to sort of legitimize those changes, if I can use that word.
Right.
So what are those changes that you think you're going to make once the lockdown finishes?
So I think, in the last 40 odd days of lockdown, we've been having a lot of brainstorming, ideation, both within the family, within ourselves. So I think, there is a lot of things which will come out of it. And, one thing that is quite clear is that we need to not only innovate, but also reinvent ourselves. Many times we look at, making cosmetic changes that we might say that, we can give a pay cut here and there, we can reduce the number of people here and there. But I think unless we analyze the entire value chain and we look at structural changes across every segment, we are not going to achieve the kind of efficiencies that are required. So, business models are changing across all segments of real estate, whether it's residential, commercial, retail, industrial. And there are a lot of specialized and new asset classes which are emerging. I think you guys have done a lot of research on student housing, assisted care living, data centers. We have to realize that we have to cope up with working with physically disconnected workforces. We have to integrate social responsibility in business. And one of the things that we need to do is that we need to find these new technologies to reduce operating costs, increase revenues, as well as integrate and augment customer satisfaction. So there is a lot of introspection which is going on, and I think the entire ecosystem will have to change. I think driven by technology, but definitely I think most of us will have to emerge in our new avatars to be successful down the line.
Yeah. I've noted 4 things, Kumar, and I'll probably speak with you in 5 years' time. One is the cost, and second, technology, third, social responsibility, and fourth is that customer orientation or reorientation in that is. I know the bottom 2 you will do, social responsibility and customer orientation you will do. It'll be interesting to see how you adopt technology in the business. I think it is best chance to do it now.
Yeah, and also Anuj, so technology is also changing very rapidly. So whether down the line, whether we look at 3D printing, whether we look at blockchain for customer interactions, title deeds, I think there's a lot of changes which are required in the larger ecosystem as well. So I don't know how this is going to play out, because generally governments are slow to react.
That's also true. Yes. Mohit, I'm going to come to you. This is going to be interesting. I'm delighted it is you, not your dad. I have a huge amount of respect for him, Mr. Rohtas Goel. Second, when Amit was saying is that how many of you would want to go back to office? And I certainly want to. Then I looked at you, and then the picture came of your farmhouse in my mind at the back. I'm like, he is not going back to office. He is staying in his farmhouse.
Okay.
It's just a absolutely fascinating place where you and Dad stay. That's one. Second is, I don't know whether you know Benita Dalal from Rustomji. She's asked me to ask you this question, otherwise she is not going to allow me next time to come up. Then why haven't you come in any other webinar, and why only Manish has been able to get you on this?
I think, yeah, you should ask that, Mr. Manish only. I was
So she's saying is that he's never come on a webinar.
I had to promise him 10 other favors. No.
Right, okay.
He just came out of friendship, I would say.
Yeah.
Lucky enough.
So, my question is really, Mohit, is that you've got this fascinating project that is going in the midst of Chandni Chowk. I mean, Chandni Chowk, everybody would know what Chandni Chowk is. And, you're doing organized retail real estate, there. At this point in time, how are you marketing that effectively? One, it is retail, which, otherwise has been badly affected, hospitality, aviation, retail. And the second is that, most of the buyers, I don't know whether they are on digital or not, because I thought that they are a different genre of buyers. So some interesting thoughts on that would be really nice.
Sure. So I like to quickly start with one question to everyone. Whatever we've been talking about right now of, I think in one line I can say we just want to be more efficient in every way. And I think the industry and all the players of this industry was any which way doing it. It has nothing to do with COVID. That's first. And second, to answer your question directly, what we are doing with our project in Chandni Chowk. So overall, if you're going to see, so all of us represent the organized real estate. Overall,
Correct.
Overall, the shift from unorganized to organized real estate will happen even much faster now. No one wants to stay in unorganized any kind of asset of real estate, be it retail, office, or residential. Coming back to our project, Chandni Chowk is one place where you don't have space to put your step. Forget about any other real estate there. I mean, 10 square feet, you can get it around 50,000 rupees per month as a rental. So, which is insane. You just don't know the dynamics of the real estate in that particular place. Going forward, I don't see that there'll be a lot of people going to that place. But let me ask you another question. Will they completely stop going to these bazaars in these markets? I don't think so. Will they prefer an organized mall in that place than the unorganized place? I definitely think so. So that's why post-COVID, I think this has even become more important for developers like us to make these kind of properties in these kind of bazaars so that they can enjoy the same shopping and they can enjoy the same environment with much more hygienic way and much more modern infrastructure way.
Yeah. And Mohit, I didn't think through that, but you're absolutely right. That are people not going to come to the bazaar? They will come to the bazaar. But are they going to? Yeah, yes. Go ahead.
So one more very important thing we have to define right now to our audience, to all of us right now as well, is that, post-COVID. What do you mean by post-COVID? There are two phases of post-COVID. First phase will be, say, from 12 to 24 months, where people will still be scared to come out. That should I send my kids? Should I send my parents? Should I also go out and try to just mingle around with people? Should I live the life the way I used to live before COVID? But post, for example, 24 months of post-COVID, which is the phase 2, that's when I think the life will come back to normalcy and we'll start living the way we were living before COVID. This is not something which we're going to live for the rest of our lives. So it's just the first 24 months post-COVID we're talking about. There, the product of any developer will matter a lot. Something, for example, if I was delivering this product in the next 6 months, you think I'll get buyers? I don't think so. I myself don't think so. But we're going to deliver this project post 24 to 30 months. I think that's the right time.
Good point. Very good
Any
point.
product now for any developer who's delivering after say 24 to 36 months, that's the product he should sell. I'll also urge all my fellow developers to please don't sell ganje ko kangi, because I always feel that sometimes a developer does a mistake in buying something and he makes the other customers do that mistake by selling that thing. It's better that one person bhukto that mistake than many of your customers. Be very careful in selling what you're selling, and sell something which can give some sort of return to your customers, because now, as Nayan Bhai rightly said, he's looking at life, not lifestyle. I like to add to that, he's looking at decent returns as well from real estate, which probably we've not been able to give last few years.
So well said, Mohit. Superb. Superb. He
Well,
wants a safe, reliable, appreciating asset. Perfectly said, Mohit.
Nayan Bhai, at today's prices, it is very possible.
Yes.
At the prices and at the interest rates, which I think Deepak Bhai alluded to, that is, it is very possible to be able to get on to that is very well said, Mohit.
Anuj and Mohit, on a lighter note, he talked about kangis. I think this is the right time to sell kangis any which way.
Looking at Mohit here, I don't think so. It matters to him.
Definitely nothing.
But no, fantastic. With this, Manish, I'm going to hand it over to you to take the next part of the session. I'm going to sort of exit. Thank you, guys, and Mohit, over to you.
Thank you, Anuj.
Thank you, Anuj.
Thanks, sir. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Anuj, we have to do that jail tell sell.
That's
Anuj.
right. You tell me whenever.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye, Anuj.
Bye.
Okay, difficult shoes to fill in, but I will. So now that we've had a good, nice, broader view from everybody on where things are, I have a very specific question to ask, and I'm going to begin again with Baman if he's listening. Baman, how does, I mean, you've marketed luxury products, you've marketed some top end products. How does that change in lieu or in the way Nayan Bhai was saying all about life versus lifestyle? Does it impact your business as well? Is it going to change that? Are you marketing it any differently than what we were earlier?
So marketing is a bad point to start off with. First, you start off with the product itself, right? You should know your consumer. You should know who you're building for. Can you hear me properly? I've just taken off.
Absolutely.
You start off with the product. You start off with the customer you're designing for. You understand what it is that you're creating. Half the time, I would like to say that developers get swayed. They get taken in a particular location. I can tell you, in the year 2002 or 3, when everybody was creating commercial in that commercial belt called Andheri Kurla, I think Rustomji took a totally different viewpoint and created residential out there. So you have to be different, right? If you understand things, it's very simple. It's like a math. For those who don't understand, can keep scratching their heads, and those who do, they can just get it. Likewise, in an area which was not considered very, very prime, I think we've created one of the most prime residential properties today in Khar. Anyone who comes in, I still remember when first I'd taken my financiers out there and said, we are creating uber luxury out here. They actually looked at me and said, we are only backing you because we think you've gone mad, but hopefully, you'll come out through this. And today that product has created quite a, how do I say this, buy appeal for people. So I think it starts off here. What is your product? And then you take it down to how you want to communicate it. So if you have a shirt, you communicate it as a shirt, not as a jacket, right? So it all works out to that. And finally, if you know the language of your consumer, that is to say, a guy who is dealing with a 10 crore plus property, he's not getting, he's far more educated, he's far more aware. And you need to treat him with that respect. You need to treat every customer with respect. What I'm saying is the respect to his intellect, the respect to his ability of choices, the respect to the fact that, he's in no urgency. Vis-a-vis someone who's going for a one-bedroom hall kitchen, he's really not, he's looking at all the hygiene factors, he's looking at what's important for him. And another thing I want to tell you, Manish, it's not today, but Rustomji has had this vision or dream to stay across the entire spectrum. When you look at a rainbow, we wanted to be in the entire spectrum of this rainbow. And I'll tell you why. Because at that point of time in 1996, what the affordable housing or the lower end of the spectrum taught us was that you need to be quick. You need to be able to kind of, give the consumer what his money's worth is. You need to build the value in over there. And the upper end of the spectrum taught us what are the best amenities that one can provide. What is it that lifestyle needs are? How you can, make lives better for those who could afford it. What I realized, and it's really interesting, is that what you learn at both ends of the spectrum, if you utilize at the other end of the spectrum, you're actually a lot better off. So we took all the amenities like video door phone, which is so commonplace today. In 1996, we put it in a project in a project where we were selling at, I don't know, 1/4 the cost of let's say any other where in Mumbai. And we realized that if we took the speed and efficiency of what we were developing in the lower end of the market and we brought it to the higher end, those guys never expected it. So both sides, there was delight and there was absolute joy at receiving what they got. So I think that is our job, right? That is where we come in. Otherwise, every contractor can put up a building and just, 4 walls and say, this is your home. That's not how it works. You need to work from here. You need to understand what your consumer is and speak his language. I think that takes care of everything. Manish?
Completely got it, Vaman. Very well said. Vaman, one more question, if I may. Besides your charm, how do you keep motivated your sales and marketing team in this time? They must be facing a real hardship, aren't they?
It's tough. I can tell you that. And the first thing you do when things get tough is you become more honest than you ever were. So you don't try and mince words. You don't try and, it's like going to your kids and telling them, hey, listen, till yesterday the situation was this, but today, you know what? It's tough. It's our belief that we can, try and conceal the facts, etc. I'm saying, say it. Just say it to your people. Secondly, your sales team actually has a lot more input for you than you know yourself. So I'll tell you what we've done at Rustomjee. And this is the best time for us to have ever done it. Everybody is stuck at home. Everybody is sitting in the house. Everybody is looking around their house and seeing what they use and what they want. Our teams have actually gotten together and brought our architecture team, our MEP team, our contracting team to listen in when they talk to this consumer and saying, hey, how can, which are the spaces that are most being used in your house? Everybody wants to talk right now. Everybody out there wants to express. Everybody out there wants to give an idea. And you're getting it for free, right? So someone will complain about something. And, Steve Jobs had said this so beautifully. He said, the fellow who complains is actually your customer. You should give the most time and energy to, because he's giving you inputs which you otherwise will, block yourself out to. So these calls have actually taught us that the product of the future, like Nayan mentioned, the product of the future that's going on in the minds of the people is far different from maybe what we are looking at. I'll squeeze the size over here. I'll give him this affordability. He's just looking at his product differently. Our finance guys are talking, or rather picking up from that the way I will be able to offer these homes will be different. I think Mr. Gadkari mentioned it, and I don't know if he meant the same thing. He said, all of you should become NBFCs. Today, if you look at the auto industry, I'll just take one more minute of yours and then I'll go. The auto industry, all the most successful auto companies have their own branded, not their own, I would say, their own branded finance schemes for their consumers. And it varies from a Mercedes-Benz and, varies for a Java. So you just have to learn from everywhere. So start with humility and go with the age-old adage that says, the only thing I know is that I know nothing. Because then your mind is open, you're ready to absorb. Don't forget all that, I'm just saying it in a way that, you should take it positively. The only thing you know is really, nothing. And this time, if you ever played Snakes and Ladders, you were at 98 and you've been brought back down to number 6 or number 2 or number 12. I don't remember the game very well, but there was one snake that brought you down. We are all at number 12. Enjoy this situation. This is true metal comes to play. This is where, and tell every one of your team members this. We are all down to 12 now. This is a new beginning. Talk to them and tell them this is the fact. And once you're here, it doesn't matter if there was a company up there or a company out there. We are all now equal. We are all at the starting point of the race. Let's run with all our lives and we are the ones who are going to make it. What else do you do? That's it.
So true, Vaman. In fact, this is where the rubber hits the road. And that if I may take that point forward with Deepak Bhai, Maman was talking about this whole thing of transparency, talking out more, listening more. Deepak Bhai, are you doing more of that with your first internal people? Are you listening? Are you talking more? Plus, what about the customers? And you have all kinds of customers, from affordable to semi-premium to premium. How do you manage that? What are you doing in this time around that part?
See, communication is a key factor in this crisis time. Even with our team, with our core team or regular full team, or even with the customer.
Right.
The communication is only where we can hope communication with all stakeholders, even with the bankers, even with our landowners, joint venture partners, because everybody is confused, everybody is worried, everybody is looking at what are the options we will have, but nobody has answer.
Correct.
The thing is, everybody is looking at it that someday it's going to open the lockdown. It's going to have a normal gradually after a couple of months, some confidence level will come, and then people would start a little bit moving and then gradually doing some socializing and coming back to normal. May take a 6 months time, may take a year time, may take even more than a year time. So as of now, challenge with everybody is to definitely be positive and work with the thing that whatever that Baman rightly said about the snake and ladder. You were at 98 and you are number 12, and then again you try to go further. So everybody is into thing. We are all same now. We are working. Everybody is trying to work on it. So in our Dosti also, what we've been doing, every week we have a review meeting. We have a communication with our core team. We have a discussion that how the position could be coming up. We have an entire team meeting where we have involved even our lowest bottom of the team for various Zoom conference. We have even our.
So Deepak Bhai, sorry, but is the frontliner, and because through the frontliner is the customer connected at this moment? Is he talking?
All customers' point of view, we have at our HODs of sales at various sites. We have 5 sites running, and HOD of sales are in touch with our customers point of view, direct communication by mail or WhatsApp or even by phone and all. And customers would definitely are asking questions about the project and the completion date and all. And there is a direct communication happening. We have a weekly audio recording, video recording at the site. We are sending that progress, what was there till before lockdown, and now explaining them the once post lockdown, whatever the period is there, we will be able to make it to the shortest possible time. Because main question with the customer is as of now is when we will be getting the possession of our property, under construction property. Other than that, various communication of options and all our frontline team are in directly touch with the customers, and that's very, very important. Even with the CP channel partners also, we've been regularly in connect. CP or channel partners also, they are answering to our customers. So it's definitely a way we have to be there with the communication, and that way we take it forward.
Got it, Deepak Bhai. Talking of communication, and Amit, I was waiting for you on this question, and I'm sure a lot of people want to ask this. In fact, we've got this from the audience also. I'm sorry, I'm not able to credit the name of the person. But Amit, this question, I'm sure you've been asked this before, but with TCS going out loud and saying, even after the lockdown, we may make sure that 75% of people are still working out of offices. Now, is that a dawn of a new trend? Are we talking of a very different office space marketing trend, therefore? I mean, and this one is very important coming from you.
Right. I think I briefly touched upon it, and one would not like to comment what one company has voiced out. They must have thought about something. But what we are hearing from the larger set, I mean, as I said before, I mean, as humans, the very reason we all like to go to a common place is to interact, right? Now, it's a fact today that technology has provided that an alternative solution. That's technology, that's a fact, right? I mean, today we are interacting. This could have been a live session in an auditorium or a conference room, and everything we are acknowledging. So technology has provided that. But at the same time, the whole purpose of why people go to office, right, has been changing over the years. People don't go to office. The very need of going to office is not to go to office and sit on your workstation. Then you're better off sitting at your desk. But the interactive offices, in the last 4 or 5 years, we see all interior concepts have changed into making the offices as interactive, communication places. which means you go to office, you just walk into your colleague, suddenly the offices are opened up, you have all glass cabins, you just have sudden, what we call it as incidental conversations, right? You got an idea, a client called something, you knock the door, you said, oh, so-and-so called it, you close the conversation, right? So
that
basically,
conversation that often becomes the point.
Exactly, so it's like a place to mingle, and that's why you see a lot of international trend of offices is they are the places to derive innovation. None of us are, none of our businesses would survive doing the mundane work, which means every month, every quarter, every year, we're doing something different, substantially different than the previous year. And that innovation comes with a very high level of intense, deep conversations with the colleagues, with the customers, which gets us to the root of our businesses and our kind of relationships with our colleagues. And then that derives what our work will be. So I think the core reason of going to office will remain the way it is. I mean, that's one piece of driving innovation and kind of creativity at work through deep interactions, through cross-functional interactions. Today, let's be honest, a lot of a virtual world is happening. But really, when we get to work, there's a lot of cross-divisional work conversations which happens at site, right? The second, as I mentioned before, India is very interesting about India. While our country has been growing last 20 years, but it's only the 6 cities have been growing, which means every tier 2 city aspirant has been coming to these 6 larger mega cities and to start their careers. And in the beginning, first 5 to 6 years of their start of careers, they do a compromise in all fairness by taking a house which is suboptimal to their own house where they've left in a tier 2 city with their parents. And because they say, okay, I have to go 6 days or 5 days of work to a nice office building, which is an aspiration for anyone coming to a tier 1 city to work in those glass nice buildings, and I'll go out to a evening cyber hub, with my friends and all that, and I'll come back to my place and just sleep. So
Smith is holding on for sure. He's not quickly, I'll come back to you, but quickly moving on to first Mohit and then Kumar. Kumar and Mohit first. If you were to launch a new project, I don't know whether you would, but if you were to launch a new project in the post-COVID time, post-lockdown, how different will it be versus what you would have done earlier? Is there a difference, or is there no difference, or is there a huge one, and what? Smart PowerPoints on that so that we can get and accommodate more questions from the audience. I'm not printing you guys, but a lot of these questions have come from the audience itself. Yeah, Mohit, yours. If you can unmute, yeah.
So I'm going to answer this question like really quick and really direct. I think, of course, there'll be a difference in marketing. Marketing spending mix will be different. Before that, we were probably spending more on radio, print, or hoardings. Now we'll be spending more on digital.
Right.
There'll be more one-to-one meetings, appointment kind of meetings where I don't want a lot of crowd at a site. 11 o'clock, one customer has been dealt with. And the sites will also be sanitized, and there'll be like tunnels where before anyone enters into the site, he's sanitized completely. So it's going to be like post-COVID, taking care of COVID. That's it. And in terms of communication, in terms of taking care of your existing customers, marketing, I think the whole theory remains the same. It's just we kind of add this COVID into this. That's it.
So you will add COVID into this, right? I mean, it's not being...
Of course, because see, even if the COVID goes away, honestly, are you ready to go out? Forget about our customers. Are you ready to go out? Are you ready to travel? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you free tickets to you and your family to go to London. Will you go? Probably not, because of the scare. See, real estate or any buy, after the need, मैंने खाना खा लिया एक बारी, खाना खाने के बाद मैंने कपड़े पहन लिए, उसके बाद जब भी मैं कुछ खरीद रहा हूँ, so I have to be in that bent of mind. Right now, there's a scare. Everybody is scared.
Correct.
And if you're going to push sales to a scared person, he's going to be further scared.
But are you going to sell comfort to him that, hey, this is a place which is much better off?
See, as I told you before as well, it's something, what product you're going to sell, it should make sense. It should make money to him. It should make, a reason for him to get out of that comfort zone of home and should come and invest his money. I'm not talking about only homes here. Homes is a need, okay? If someone needs home, he will definitely go out and he's going to scout what to buy and he's going to decide what to buy.
Kumar, is your answer similar or is it any different?
So I'm just going to add something on a lighter note for all the marketing and sales people out there. That every sale has basically 5 basic obstacles: no need, no money, no hurry, no desire, and no trust. So I think as developers and channel partners, we have to stop acting as salesperson and act as matchmakers. In terms of post-COVID project launch and marketing strategies or thoughts, what I would do is basically seven basic points. One is that we need to highlight the brand image and track record of the developer. We need to highlight the location and social infrastructure in the surrounding areas such as hospitals, hotels, malls, schools, colleges, co-working spaces, etc. We should be careful about the ticket size of the projects that we launch, and also start working on financial schemes that are tailor-made for the needs of the people. We need to realize that people are going to buy more in advanced stages of construction. So to communicate the stage of construction, Amit, this might be related to you. So I know that DLF launched their luxury housing project Ultima in Gurgaon when it was ready to move in, and they sold I think 75% on the first day. And many of the developers now are launching projects which are near to completion. So I think we need to communicate trust not only through advertising but also from action on the ground. Smart technology is something I spoke about earlier, as well as innovative digital experiences through virtual tours, contactless payments, chatbots for customer interactions, videos, and virtual communication. And also, we need to highlight the safety, value, and security of real estate investments. Here, just to repeat the words of US President Roosevelt, real estate cannot be lost or stolen, nor can it be carried away. Purchased with common sense, paid for in full, and managed with reasonable care, it is about the safest investment in the world. So I think we need to highlight the value also and the safety and security it brings to people in uncertain times.
Kumar, Roosevelt or no, I love the 5 no's that you brought to the table. It's very, very interesting, and I'll remember those. But quickly moving on to Nayan Bhai. Nayan Bhai, Roshan De Silva asks a question which I'd like to put to you. Roshan De Silva from our audiences is asking a question. And even while he asks, there's another poll in progress. Nayan Bhai, you hold dual responsibilities, one for your company and one for the larger good that you're doing to the industry, in the role that you are in. Roshan says, Godrej Properties will launch 10 by 90 scheme where the customer doesn't have to take loan and just pay 10% now and rest on possession. Some properties are even 4 years from completion. How will the other developers on earth compete? And how is Godrej going to fund this construction? How does it work?
Manish, I would like to give a very frank answer to this.
Please do. That's what you're known for.
I don't consider such sales as real sales. Okay.
So they are just EMIs?
Yeah, they are. See, what are you trying to do, Manish? You are trying to tell a customer that boss, तू 4 साल के बाद जब मेरा घर रेडी होगा तब तू पैसा देके जाना मुझे.
Correct.
You are ruining his lifestyle also by giving him a hope, by making him feel you are an investor. See, I am not passing any judgment on anybody. I am Manish.
I agree.
Okay. Okay. So, and I am being little frank about it because a lot of people are talking about this कि भाई मैंने last quarter में इतना सेल किया उतना सेल किया. The point is भाई किस type का सेल हुआ. So I feel that one should not do this. It's risky for the project, it's risky for the developer and for the customer also. So this is my frank view on this. Manish, one more thing I would like to say, if you can give me half a minute.
Yes.
I think we all have been talking about fear, this, but I think when I see 6 months or 1 year down the line, what do I see in a project? Let's say Mohit's project gets ready within 9 months and his 500 customers have come to stay. And the same kind of project next door of anybody else. You will find a significant change in the way people are living in that new township because they will be more clean, they will be more hygiene, they will be more responsible. So I think what is going to happen, Manish, and this is an insight that I have, that people are going to live in a far, far better way. And this will encourage more and more townships. This will encourage more and more people to buy residential homes because see पहले कैसा था हम ऑफिस में काम करते थे तो कैसा था कि it was like very informal. Then you have those glass homes and this, so office working became also a kind of a prestige, a happiness. Same thing will happen now into residential homes at a different level altogether. So this is going to make a sea change in the attractiveness index of buying a home.
I get it. And I'm moving on to the entire set of panelists. I know Baman is not here at the moment, but I'm asking all of you. Between all of you, we have Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, Ludhiana, Lucknow, Jaipur, Chandigarh, many cities covered. I was just counting while somebody was speaking. We are about 29 cities, offices covered right now. I have a very simple question which has come from Praveen Malkani, and it has come to all. And this, you guys represent 10% of all branded products across the country in real estate. Is anybody actively and genuinely working on self-disinfecting places, offices or homes? Anybody working on that part, or too early or too late? Where are we on that?
What's the question, Manish? I didn't get, sorry.
The question from Praveen is anybody out of all of you working on self-disinfecting places? Given that this is not going to go away in a hurry, because Mohit also said that, so for example, COVID is a real thing, so what do we do out of comfort? Is self-disinfecting places a comfort at all, or is it too much of hogwash in our minds? Anybody?
So let me take that one.
Yes, Mohit, go on, please.
So I don't know whosoever seen our sample flats. They've been timed last 3-4 years. That there's a machine before entering the sample flat. You're supposed to wear these plastic shoes. If someone can recall that, most of our sites in North, they have these machine before entering a sample flat. You're supposed to wear plastic shoes. So that was one step ahead for cleanliness. So now because of COVID, we're going to take 3 more steps ahead and we're going to do this. And I think we are already working on it in Chandigarh because we seem to be launching something there in the next 1 week in that place. So we are doing it.
Nice.
But not doing it all across board. We are doing in particular places where we expect footfall to happen.
So will these factors like disinfection or for that matter, pandemic stuff, which used to be USPs but not really positioning, will that become a forefront for any one of you? Are any of you working on that part which you want to discuss right now? No.
It's going to become basics.
That's what I think.
Part of basic. This is something you get up, you brush your teeth. It's basics. I don't think so. Someone's gonna put a USP. Oh, you know what? I do this, and that's why I'm great. I think everybody's gonna do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I just agree with Manish that. Yeah, Deepak. Sorry.
No, continue there.
Yeah. So I feel it's all basic hygiene now. वो तो करना ही पड़ेगा ना. उसके बगैर काम ही कैसे चलेगा अपना?
Okay.
It's going to be the norm. It's a regulatory point of view. Also, they will be having the preconditions before we restart any activity. As of now in Mumbai and even across India, a lot of construction sites where pre-monsoon permissions are being given along with the various conditions. So these are the norms. It's going to be across India for all activity, not just real estate. The hygiene and sanitization, cleaning to various other options which will be created, if not now. Everybody will adopt to it and then take it first.
Also, just asking another question in line with that one, again, whoever wants to pick this up, but are we going to see the advent of more, what happened as default right now, which is our home space also became a workspace. Do we see something like that emerging in the society now? Workspaces, home spaces in one place, in spite of all the regulations in larger cities? Do we see that happening? Anybody?
So I think that work from home is here to stay, and in most of the large projects that we are planning now going forward, we are going to have either internal co-working spaces or business centers with larger capacities to accommodate people who want to work from home. I think it's here to stay, and we need to be ready. I know that Amit might disagree. I disagree a little bit, but
I'm listening to you and looking at it.
I really want to add something to that.
No, I'm waiting for the next apartment launch, which will also say the printer and the desk work office desk free.
Yeah, so instead of the child room, we had the office room. Okay.
Yes, I think Manish, I like to add to that. We're talking a lot about office and that probably office will face the biggest hit because of COVID. I think that's true, but saying that, co-working spaces will pick up. So whatever hit will happen to these office absorption, I think co-working space will take it as, Bhaiya rightly said that you would want this informal interaction with each other for happiness meter and everything. I think these offices will be turned into co-working spaces. Two reasons. Number one, that a lot of people will be working from home and they're going to get bored within like 2 weeks maximum. And number two, that to bring down your cost. I think TCS did this not just because of COVID. Everybody will be doing this because of cost efficiency. At these times where I'm sitting at home, I can't. If you're going to ask me what's going to be my revenue for the next 1 year, I do not know, and no one knows. But all I can work on is reducing my cost, and that's what everybody is doing.
Okay, while I love to go to Amit on this one, but I'm right now going to resist that little temptation. Amit, I'm coming back to you, but because we have to keep time, I have a question which I want each one of you to answer, please. Because the panel is all about marketing and we're taking it from that lens, and I have a closing question on that, which is also come in various ways from the audiences. It is this. Do you think, like for example, in my industry, which is people-based, that HR is too important to be done by HR people? It has to be done by the top guy. We feel that in our industry. In your industry, do you feel marketing is going to change? Is it going to change in terms of its role, its efficacy to the overall system of real estate? Is it going to be too important to the developer for him to do it himself? Or will it be outsourced completely because it's too specific and too professionally to be done? What is going to happen? Deepak, by first you, what are you going to do on marketing? Is there going to be any change in your thought process?
As we discussed in the whole webinar, of course, marketing point of view, is going to be a lot of change of communication and other thing. But your specific question about the marketing, in-house marketing through outside outsourcing or through agency and all, depend on the developer how the strength of the team is. Every developer has some developer has less strength of the marketing. Some developers are in a large strength in marketing. We definitely work in-house. So depend on the developer to developer. But of course, the importance of channel partner, which is there even since last couple of years, that also will continue with the digital trend. Also, channel partner will play a big role, and digital marketing will play a big role. And various agencies outsourcing, they are also working with various developers. They will also have their own space in this business. So I think, being the trend what it used to be earlier, the same trend will continue post-COVID also.
Okay, so I'm going back to Nayan Bhai on this one. Nayan Bhai, does marketing change the efficacy of marketing, and therefore it becomes too important to people like you, or does it become too unimportant or too specialized for you to handle yourself?
Manish, I feel we all need to relax. You know, things are going to be the same, man. कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा.
Okay.
देखिए, what business are we in? We are in a roti kapda makan business fundamentally. You know, तो कोई ऐसी बड़ा स्ट्रक्चरल चेंज नहीं होने वाला है. एक हो गया 1.5 महीना we were unproductive. All that will come back. Yes, the nature of product will change. The way to sell will change. You know, whether it was somebody sells through channel partners, somebody sells through their brand because of their own sales, वो सेम रेशो कंटिन्यू रहता रहेगा. Each one will have his own importance. But one thing is clear, digital will become more and more important. And what was supposed to happen till 2025 will happen by 31st December 2020. इतना मैं जरूर जानता हूँ. बाकी कोई डरने की बात नहीं है. आराम से धंधा मस्त होगा.
Nayan Bhai, coming from you, it means a lot, and I share the same enthusiasm and positivity. I must tell you, and I agree with you that it's a matter of time. When we come back, when we hop in, real estate has seen worse. I mean, not worse, sorry, but has seen a lot of bad times in the recent itself.
Manish, there were times in 1960s, 70s, 80s that most of us, you know, I have not, but I've heard from my father and my mother, I mean, who were the co-founders. Deepak's dad is still alive, Kishan Bhai. We have seen far, far worse times than this. जंगल में मंगल करना पड़ता था. अरे ये तो बहुत ही सोफिस्टिकेटेड है अभी जो चल रहा है ना सब. वो तो क्या है, अपने को एक आदत पड़ गई है कि वेबिनार करो, बात करो, 10 सवाल करो, सो इट्स रिलैक्स मैन, कुछ नहीं होगा.
Cool is the mantra from Nayan Bhai. I'm moving on.
Absolutely.
Manish, I just want to add one more thing to Nayan Bhai's point, and he's absolutely correct. One is that more and more of our lifestyle is now at home. So, for example, for entertainment, we need not go to a multiplex. Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hotstar is good enough. Similarly, we are working because of the technologies that have come in. Home is becoming extremely important, and after spending so much time at home, I think all of us realize the requirement for larger homes, or the preference and the requirement for other facilities. So I think it might be better in the long run for you.
Kumar, not to read the question as any different or any negative, but a very straight question. Is marketing efficacy going to change? Is the question that I want to ask and take it to Amit now. Is it going to change? Is it going to become too important to the developer for the time being, or better specialized skill coming from outside? Where? Amit, quick one.
So sure, two parts. One is we have to look at life as, and I said, one is 5-6 months is one piece of what is impacting us. And then once we go back to normal, what is there? The few impact of what is happening in the next 5-6 months will change, but not drastically. I'll give you 2 live examples very clearly. Just before the lockdown, we were doing a transaction in Calcutta.
Right.
And before the lockdown, we all know there was a travel advisory restrictions, not a lockdown, for about 10-15 days, 10 days before. So a CEO had to fly down from Mumbai to Calcutta to give a final nod for a large office deal, which we are doing. So you'll be surprised that the brief I gave to the marketing guys very clearly, then the travel restriction was there and the deal could have kind of slided further 2 months or 3 months later. So the brief given to the marketing guy was that if a CEO would have come down, he would have wasted 1 day in terms of for a site visit, or would have spent half an hour to 45 minutes minimum at the site. Now look at it purely from the eyes of a CEO. Can you do a video which will give him the same level of absorption to take the same decision, which would have otherwise taken a flight to come down and literally walk through? So the brief went to that much of a detail, right? And we said that the video will be not like an ad film, because we don't take decisions just by looking at an ad film. We look at decision at the pace how an eye and a mind sees it. So even the drone shot, which was shot across the building, showing the metro stations around, the brief was that make it a very slow moving drone shot. Let it be a 8-minute video, because otherwise a CEO would have spent the whole day. So I'm sure as an alternative to the whole day, we can give 8 minutes to absorb that, to let the drone shot move slow. Let it flow through the video there, right? That's one example. The second is, I was giving a very simpler way. We all get these anonymous calls that, okay, we'll send one of the financial advisor home and all that. And of last 2 weeks, I've been getting calls which is slightly different, right? Because normally you would say no to a financial advisor coming in because someone is taking a time from you and all that stuff. But now the calls which are coming in, the sales girl is calling and saying we need a time for a 15-minute slot on the Zoom call. Which I said, now this is looking okay. So what I mean is changing. But I think the biggest test for real estate would be that can we sell an apartment or an office which otherwise was delivered through a physical site visit? Can we get the same decision through a digital absorption of showing that building and a site, whether through, photographs and all that stuff? And that's how I think the biggest challenge for the market would be.
In fact, it's like how the cars are being sold today. Actual decision, or almost a decision, is made on the website, and only later do you go for a touch and feel to the showroom to finally decide that last which model and which kind of CC and so on and so forth. So I agree with you on that part. I'm just coming to the others. But before that, I just wanted to remind all our audiences that we will continue this conversation with a different panel. This time we have a developer high order panel here who'll talk from the owner's perspective. We also have the professional perspective coming up at 4 o'clock with another panel, similar kind of a discussion on marketing and real estate before we close. So I'm just kind of telling you that. Anybody has any other viewpoint on this part? I'm not now going individually, but all of you, any closing comments on effect and efficacy of marketing in the post-COVID world, even if it's a very short-term difference? I understand digital, I understand digitization of the product, but beyond that, is it going to be more important? Okay, let me ask a simple question. I'm going to come to each one of you. Yes or no? Is marketing going to be more important than before in the short term? after the lockdown? Deepak bhai, you. Yes or no?
Yes. Cash flow
Okay.
is important. Cash flow point of view, survival, marketing definitely important.
Okay, Kumar,
Absolutely.
more important?
Absolutely. Much more important.
Okay, done. I'm coming back to you after this one. Amit, what about you? What do you think?
Yes, definitely important, and it's going to take much more higher level of skill set, much more specialization.
Nayan bhai, in your mind?
It's going to be different.
Different. Okay, I understand the reason why you're using the word different and not yes or no. Completely understand. Mohit,
I think it holds this exact similar importance because last 2 years, whatever been happening with the industry, absolutely important. It was important. It is important. It's gonna be important.
wonderful. So, guys, before we move on, I must also tell you we asked the same question to the audience. Only 6% of them believe that marketing is going to be far more important as we go along, and our audience and our panel set also has a very similar set. Some people say more important, some people say different. Continue to be important, whatever it is. But we had a very important set of people out here, and I'm very, very glad that Alchemist and our partners were able to pull through such great, knowledgeable, and very, very humble panel out there. Baman is not here at this moment, but thank you, Baman, as well. And thank you all of you who are here. Amazing, great audience, great panel, fantastic and proud to be a part of this entire thing. Thank you so much, everybody. Rohit,
Thank you.
Deepak bhai, Amit ji, Nayan, Kumar, everybody. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And of course,
Thank
Baman
you.
and Anuj. Thank you, and thank you for being here. Again, requesting all to reassemble at 4 for the next set of discussions. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Manish.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Team Alchemist.